Hey, thanks. Took a long time to get to 1,000 subs. Almost stopped making videos for a little while. Yeah, it's kind of hard to grow a channel. It seems like the channels that really don't bring anything to the table do well. You know, the people that just walk around a town or a city and vlog, or the people that just sit in front of a computer like this and talk for an hour about absolutely nothing useful. Those types of people do well, but it seems like educational type channels, or homesteading and trapping and outdoors type channels don't do very well. Obviously, there's a handful of guys and gals out there that do really well, but a lot of them, I think, start to become sellouts. But that's part of just being in the business, I guess. If you want to make YouTube a full-time job, you have to start thinking about it a little different. So, yeah. Not too many just yet. We still have a good amount of snow in the bush. It's only in the yard that we're losing it, but I would think in the next week or two, everything should be starting to pop up. It's they're calling for some mild weather for the next 2 weeks, back to seasonal, so that's kind of nice. Hopefully, no snowstorms in the forecast either. I'm kind of tired of the snow. I'm not very good with wild edibles, to be honest. It's something that I want to get better at. That's kind of the really nice thing about hanging out with Chris and Jeremy is Jeremy's a whiz when it comes to all that outdoor wild edible stuff. So him and Delphine went for a walk with me. I forget when it was, last stupid cell phone. Last spring, I guess it was. And pointed out a bunch of different things, hazelnut. And so that was kind of cool because I never knew I had hazelnut until they pointed it out. So it's not too bad. Lots of raspberries, wild raspberries on the property. Lots of wintergreen. There's Labrador tea on the other side of the pond. Yeah, that's kind of the main ones that I know. There's a spot that I go fishing that's about 50 miles, maybe 40 miles away. It's got lots of trout lily. There's just this valley. It's just polluted with trout lily. All it is it's everywhere. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's warming up there. I don't know if I've ever seen stinging nettle here. I know Jeremy just did a recording on his channel, The One Wildcrafter, where he plans on doing like a total wild edibles for 1 year, starting January 1st, 2019 until December 31st. And he was mentioning stinging nettles. So I'm going to have to hang out with him one weekend and see if I can come up with some more wild edibles from my property at least, and get better at identifying them. That's one of the things that I don't really like to just go and eat stuff, because if I don't know what it is, or I think it's this and it's something else, I don't really feel like being sick. Do you have them in your area? You're in what, the Midwest? Iowa, cool. Haven't ventured down there too far. I've been to like Wisconsin and Michigan and New York, and then Florida. And I think I've been down the West Coast when I was really young, but never through the center. Into the farmlands. Yeah, you have lots of it. Is it like a vine? Like I kind of picture it as almost like a grapevine or something. I'm not sure why, but just a weed, eh? Had to shut the ringer off on this stupid phone. Hey, thanks. Yeah, it's very hard to grow a channel. I don't really do the whole social media thing other than YouTube, so it's hard to get any real good traction, Instagram or Facebook or any of that. So I can't join, Facebook groups. But I do the YouTube thing, and then we have a Canadian Trapper Talk. It's a forum, so I go on that a little bit. But yeah. Is it real bitter? Yeah, I'll have to hang out with Jeremy and try and see if we have it. I'm not sure if I have some here. I have a real mixed bush. Um, it's a lot of pines and spruce and balsams. So I'm not sure if it likes that area or if it likes more thinned out. Yeah, well, if Jeremy has it, say where he is, then there's a good chance that I do, because where he is, he's got more hardwood than I do, but he's still in that mixed bush area, so there's a good chance I do. I just never know. Same as poison ivy. I've never seen poison ivy. I've run through all sorts of bush and swamps and marshes, and I've never bumped into it. Or maybe when I have, I've just been fortunate enough to wear pants and stuff, and it's never really reacted with me. I think I might have to get a webcam. The one on the laptop here is kind of washed out, eh? I'm not sure if it's just because I have a window here. Or if it's because of that. Now I have the big white kitchen there. I'm not sure. Maybe there's something I can do in the settings. Now I'll have to play with it. Yeah, the wife and kids left for school and work, so me and the dog are probably continue doing some spring chores. Been fixing the lights on the trailer. Had a busted ground and power wire going to one of the clearance lights, so screwed around with that yesterday. Tried to grease my wheel bearings, but my grease gun crapped out. I ended up pumping it, and it ripped the threads off of the tube. So we got to get a new grease gun and a couple tubes of grease. So we'll do that today. They're calling for some showers. Hope not. Yeah, I agree. I think Facebook would be good. I'm just not really into the social media thing. I don't really like people a whole lot. I really don't like the gossip and the negative aspects. For me, the negatives overweigh the positives. I have friends and family all over, and I don't talk to them as much as I could if I had Facebook. I leave the pictures and all that sort of thing up to my wife. But there are a lot of good groups that I'd be able to reach and help grow as far as the channel goes. But I think we'll just leave it as is for now and continue just to try and make better videos. Whether people are watching them as much as I'd like or not doesn't really matter. I think social media has its pros and cons. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's completely bad, but it seems like anything I hear about social media is always people being tough, sitting behind their computers and doing and saying things that they probably wouldn't say if the person was right in their face. So that's something I don't really like. I don't like those keyboard cowboys. Lost lots of snow yesterday. Was in the sun. The thermometer was saying it was 27 degrees, so I had to move it out of the sun. I got a new one last year. There's just a post right outside the window here. It's about 25 yards from the house, give or take. And the thermometer was on the front side of it, so I had to spin it to the back side just to keep it out of the direct sun, and it was still saying 25, so I might have to move it somehow, but pretty warm. That's Celsius, so that's what, 80, 75. 20 degrees is about 68 Fahrenheit, so yeah, I'm not sure if it's because of the window or not. I'll move it over there, see if that makes a difference. Maybe a little bit, eh? I'm sure I can play with the settings on the in the settings. I can play with it. I just tried, but it wouldn't let me because I was already running this. Said I had to wait until I wasn't live streaming. Yeah, there's been lots of contests on YouTube with like hunting and fishing groups where if you signed up for this or that sweepstake, you could be entered into a raffle to win, a hunting or a fishing trip somewhere. And that would have been pretty cool to be able to enter that, but I really didn't want to start a Facebook page just for the free stuff. So Spring Bear, I'm not too sure just yet. I don't know if Chris is going to come here or if he's going to go over to Jeremy's. With working out of town for 2 weeks at a time, it can be kind of a challenge to set anything up long term. Like, it would be good to start baiting and bait for a good month, checking it at least every couple of days, every 2 days, because if you stop checking it and the bear eats all the bait, he'll come back for a day or two. But once the bait's gone, he doesn't come around just for fun. So I haven't seen any bear sign yet, but I have no doubt they're going to be out shortly with this nice weather. We're finally back into the seasonal stuff, so that'll be nice. Ireland, eh? That's where me and my wife want to go next year. Our 10-year anniversary is this December, so we're hoping to get over there. I've got some Irish heritage and Irish and Scottish, so I'd like to get back over there. It was a friend of the family, I guess, or a friend of mine. When my mom and me were living in an apartment building when I was young, he was the neighbor next to me, and he worked night shift. He was a security guard for the schools. There was 3 schools, one on each corner, and he was the security guard on night shift there. And he'd come home early in the morning, and I would wake up hearing him come in, and I would actually sneak out of the apartment and go over and visit him. And I guess it happened quite a few times until finally my mom realized that I was breaking out of the apartment to go and visit this guy. And luckily he was a good guy, and he wasn't a pedophile or anything like that. He was just a good person who liked spending time with me. So he went over there and he did some homework for me on some of my origins and where my last name came from and all that sort of stuff. And he got me, I guess, to be my family shield, you'd call it. It's that emblem, I guess. I guess that's what you call it, your family shield. For Craig, I guess it means crack in the rock or a snag in the rock. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I'd like to get over there with my wife, take at least 2 weeks. Yeah, we got a good number of bear around. Crest. Yeah, it could be your family crest. Kind of looks like a shield, like in war times back in the day. I don't have it here. I had it on a keychain, and then he got me a small flag. I do watch her videos, Drone Girl. She's pretty cool. Very beautiful country. Yeah, we've got bears around, but there's an outfitter down the road. How far would he be? About 10 miles down the road. And he's got, I think it's 300 acres there, so he has a few bear sites there. And then I think he's got another one further down the road. And then we've got quite a few hunters in behind us. We're on, I wouldn't call it a residential street, but we have quite a few neighbors in close proximity. But then on the back side, there's a big chunk of private property. I think it's 300 acres. And then there's some crown land. There's another 300 or 400 acres of crown land. And I think a lot of people just run around back there doing whatever they want to do, whether it's in season or not. And I think they take care of some of the bears. That's probably where Chris's bear went last spring, because it was coming in fairly often and then just quit coming in. So I guess it could have got hit by a car or something like that. But with the highway as close as it is to my house, I would have seen a dead bear unless someone hit it and picked it up, which is possible. But we've got so many animals around here that when people hit them, they don't pick them up. My wife stopped yesterday morning on the highway and let, I think she said 5 or 6 deer cross the road. Close to Guelph? No, I'm about 4.5 hours north. Have a good one. Thanks for coming on, and appreciate the sub. Yeah, Chris is about 4.5 hours. His mom and sisters live close by. They're only a 10-minute, 15-minute drive from here. And then Jeremy, the one wildcrafter that you see on his channel quite often, he's about 45 minutes from me. Yeah, Chris is a pretty good guy. What you see in his videos is what you get in real life. He doesn't really put on a show as far as his video making goes. He does like to get the perfect shots, and he spends a lot of time. I don't know if planning them out right is the right word, but he spends a lot of time making sure that his videos are shot and they're shot well. They're a high priority on what he's doing out there. Whereas me, a lot of times it's the outdoors that takes the cake for me, and then videoing is second. I don't. Part of the problem for me with videos is I live in the country, so for me going outside and chainsawing is what I do on a regular basis. Cutting firewood is on a regular basis. Going for a walk in the bush, that's normal. Having a fire outside, I don't even have fires outside very often because I live in the country. I have a fire right there every day all winter long. So a lot of people like to see that sort of stuff, and for me it's just so repetitious that I couldn't be bothered. So like even going for a walk in the bush, I see deer on a regular basis. We've had moose in our yard. We've had deer in the yard. One year we had a nice big 10-point in the yard. Rabbits, grouse, you name it. Had a bear run through the front yard last year. One day I was bringing the garbage out, and had a bear between me and the garage, so that was a little bit uncomfortable. But here in Canada, you have to have all your guns locked up and your ammo locked up, so by the time you can do anything legally, the animal's long gone, and it's probably eating your whole family. So when I'm around and I keep a firearm somewhat close by, but it all depends on if it's just me or if it's the kids around, because I don't like to keep anything ready to go when the kids are around, just in case they decide to play with something. It only takes a quick second and life could be altered. So yeah, I usually film. I always bring my GoPro with me because it's so durable that I don't have to worry about, getting wet or whatever. That's what I shoot all my video on. The odd time I'll take a picture with my DSLR, but for the most part, I don't like lugging it around. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like bringing it around. I would like to get a small point and shoot 4K camera eventually, but it's on my priority list, but it's not at the top. They just cost so much. But yeah, I bring my camera. I probably shoot in a month. I'm probably shooting 50 to 75 hours of footage. Every day I go for a walk with the dog, I bring a camera and I do a bit of a vlog and show some animal tracks or something new that wasn't there the day before and that sort of thing. And I usually just end up deleting it, but there are a lot of people that, like you said, would love to see it, but there's a lot of people that live the same lifestyle I do and probably wouldn't want to see it, and a lot of times it's the same thing, so I have a hard time. The recording part's easy. It's the sitting down here and then editing for 15-20 minutes, however long it takes you to do a 10-minute video. Sometimes I really enjoy making a video, like the editing part of it, and then other times I just hate it. I'll have hours and hours and hours of video, and I'll come and sit at the computer and I'll just hit X, and delete it all. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Not everybody's as fortunate to do what they like to do as us. We get to spend some time out there. Might actually go do a little trapping today. I haven't been out to the farm at all this year. I think all that's open is muskrat and beaver, but I know the creek's going to be flowing, so I might go and grab some floats and some footholds and see if I can't go and get 5 or 6 rats and basically get a case of beer. Not much money in trapping, but I still enjoy it. I'd like to go over and do the farm just so I stay on their in good terms with them. I told them I was going to go this year, and I really haven't gotten around to it. I didn't. I trapped beavers in the fall, a couple beavers, and by the time I did some trapping on my own property, I had no more bait, and I didn't get a deer this year, so I didn't get get over to the butcher to pick up scraps, so I didn't have enough bait to start a bait station of any sort. So they're not that far from here. As a crow flies, they're probably only 30 miles, 20 miles. So they've got a nice creek system that flows. So I know there's lots of otter there, but I think otter's closed. I think it's pretty much just beavers and rats. But rats are fun. They're fun to catch. Like probably my favorite thing to catch or trap. Not a lot of skill in skinning them. The fur's really nice. I got to learn how to tan. I've got that orange Trappers hide tanning solution or whatever it's called there. I've got one bottle in the garage, so we may try and do a quick series on tanning. I have an otter in my freezer that I butchered up pretty bad, so I might just sew up the holes and try tanning it and just use it as a wall hanger. My daughter loves the furs, so I might try and do that, as well as a red fox that I got 3 years ago, I guess. I got it at the farm. So I might try and tan those two. Do a little video on it, because I know there's always people wondering how to do it and how it turns out. So I would really like to learn how to turn a beaver into a pair of mitts. Those are some projects that I would like to do. Whether I get to them or not is a different story. Yeah, rats seem to do well pretty much anywhere there's good water. Doesn't even have to be good water, swampy water. Lily pads and cattails, and they'll be fine. We have a few muskrat huts just along the shore, or side of the road, sorry. Wherever the water stays. Do you have a video on how you've done it? You should make a video if you haven't. Yeah, there's lots of muskrats, and I forget where it was, but I think it's in Holland. Forget exactly, but they kill like 400,000 rats a year because of all their dams and stuff, and they destroy all of them because they're like an anti-fur sort of nation, and they destroy them. So if you think about that 400,000 at today's price, which is pretty close to $4, you do the math. That's a lot of coin that could go back into that country. Now, even if they were using that harvest and the price dropped because of supply and demand, and you were getting $1, that's still 400,000. You know, it's pretty sad that it just gets destroyed because they don't want to profit from the animal. But I mean, wow. Yeah, it is a waste. I mean, you're going to kill them anyways, right? It's not like you're just going out and killing them for fun or for a pastime. You're killing them. So why not utilize the fur and the meat? I mean, ask Chris and his son. Chris and his son just love muskrat, you know. Chris told me again, you know, if you get any more rats, save the meat. So that's probably what I'll do with the next couple I get this week if I go out. I just did a quick service on my trailer. Not sure if I said that earlier. And I had some lights flashing, so I had a ground wire that was busted off, and I had a power wire going to 2 of my lights that had broken off. So I fixed that up and then went to grease the bearings and rip the grease gun apart. So I got to go and do that. There's still lots of grease in the bearings, so I'll probably try and load up my gator and go for a ride. Don't really need the gator, but gonna go get another coffee. I'll be right back. Can I get you anything? All right, sorry about that. Yeah, it's pretty quiet. I'm usually up 5:36. When I'm home, I try and sleep in a little bit, but my wife's always up by 5 and the kids are up shortly after. So even when I want to sleep in, I can't sleep in. So, and with work, I'm always up by 5. Do you make your own bows? Yeah, eh? That would be pretty cool. How about arrows? Make your own arrows too? Oh, sweet. Yeah, arrows is kind of a pain in the butt. I know when I used to shoot a lot of archery, I never made my own arrows, but I would buy just the blank arrow stocks and cut them and install the inserts and the nocks and the vanes and all that sort of stuff. And I quickly stopped doing that. I ended up using the quick fletch, that heat shrink stuff where you just stick your fletching on your arrow and dip it into some hot water. I actually love that. Not very traditional in any sort of sense, but I've had really good luck with that. But I don't shoot my compound anymore. Just not a lot of time to practice. I'm not a good shot, so for me, I have to practice in order to keep up my muscle memory. And with the kids and the dog, I don't like telling them they got to stay in the house while I practice shooting my bow in the yard. So switched back to my crossbow. Yeah, it's probably safer to send it down there rather than trying to get it over a stupid border. Yeah, that's cool. I have to apologize. I was subscribed to you, and I'm not subscribed to you anymore. I don't know what happened. That's why I was asking you about if you made bows and stuff, because I'm like, I know that I was subscribed to you, but I can't even remember when the last time I watched one of your videos was. So I'm gonna have to go back. I watched a bushcraft cop like a cuxa video, but I don't remember if I've watched anything before or after. And I'll be going back through your videos. I apologize. I don't think it was me. I think it was YouTube, mind you, but still. Seems to happen quite often. I know Justin from Survival Mindset said the same thing. He's like, I don't get noticed when your videos are up anymore. And I forget who else it was saying the same thing, that they didn't get any notifications, and then they went to check out one of my videos and weren't even subscribed to me. So yeah, YouTube's kind of a pain in the ass. That's part of the reason why I was gonna stop making videos. I was really trying to get to 1,000 subs, and had a few videos get demonetized. One was my 2016 deer hunt, which, okay, you know, there's a dead animal. And then one was, I think it was like bushcraft tea or something. There was nothing, and it got demonetized. And after that happened, I was really annoyed. I stopped making videos for a little bit. Even now, I have a hard time making some videos, but with the maple syrup, I really wanted to do that for a few years, and there's a lot of good videos on YouTube, but I wanted to put my own video up. It's pretty easy to do, and you really don't need a lot of trees or fancy equipment to do it. All right, bud. Take care. Thanks for coming on. I'm going to get off here shortly too. Well, I got to go, guys. It's time to get back to the work. Got some spring cleaning to work on, and I got to run to town. Oh, it hasn't been too bad for the maple syrup. I kind of got into it late. I did it 3 weeks ago, I guess. I started collecting. I probably should have done it a little earlier. I collected for a week, and then I had to work out of town for 2 weeks. So I just I collected 45 gallons. I boiled it down to 5 gallons and then froze those 5 gallons so I could come back and finish it. Working out of town, you're kind of limited to how much time you can spend doing certain tasks. So I know the syrup was running yesterday because I had a few trees leaking. I probably could have got some taps out, same as the day before. But the weather's been really up and down. But we did well in that 1 week, 45 gallons. We were getting about 5 gallons a day. There was a couple of days in there where it was really cold and it didn't warm up at all. But Yeah, we ended up getting about 4.5 liters out of the 45 gallons, so that's not too bad. Syrup's a little thinner than down just a little bit longer, but the temperatures hit where they were supposed to hit. I'll have part 2 coming out on Sunday, so you can watch that and see the finished process. But I'll definitely be doing it again next year, as long as I'm off and I can get at it at the right time. It's not that hard to do. A little bit time consuming to do the boil, but I tried on a propane burner for a little bit, and I quickly ditched that idea and lit a fire over about the fire pit and put a grill up and stuck a couple pots on the fire and got that going. So maybe next year look at buying another stainless steel pot or a different setup altogether to boil it off a little quicker. But it worked. What's nice about over the fire is your syrup ends up with a bit of a smoky flavor to it, or at least I find that. I don't know if the wife and kids did, but yeah, it's starting to warm up here now. We were below seasonal by about 10 degrees, but now we're back up into the seasonal weather. Yesterday was pretty mild. It's already like +5 out, so it didn't get below freezing last night, and they're calling for a bit of rain. So as much as I don't like rain, it would be nice to get a couple warm showers in and continue to get rid of this white crap, but slowly, so that we don't end up with a bunch of floods. Get rid of the ice so I can get out fishing. Could probably still go ice fishing. I know I talked to a couple guys there on the weekend. They were fishing for trout, and they were saying that it was still a good 2 feet of ice. But with this +15, +20 and the sun beating down, it don't take long for that ice to start turning into like sugar, eh? It's all like granular. And you can basically dig through the ice with your foot. So I think I'll stay off. Most of the little ponds that I go to are all spring fed, so the last thing you want to do is fall through somewhere. And they're steep banks, so any of that spring runoff is causing the ice around the shore to wash away or melt the fastest. So anytime you're trying to get on and off the ice, you could be going through, depending on the shoreline and where you are. So anyways, it's time for me to go. I got some work to do, but I just wanted to say thanks for the 1,000 subscribers. That is really cool. That was kind of my goal right from day one, was just to make videos that would help people. And then after I started getting a little bit of traction as far as subscribers go, then it quickly became 1,000. And I didn't think I would ever get to it. I just about quit making videos for a little while. I found that everybody was making the same type of video, and I didn't want any part of the copycat, being a copycat and just making the same video as the next guy and the guy after me is going to make. And with YouTube doing their demonetization and all that crap, it kind of really took the wind out of my sails, and I stopped making videos. Before, I would make videos all the time, and I would have a bank of them set up for, 4 or 5 of them, so that if something happened and I couldn't make a video, or just maybe the weather didn't cooperate for a week and I didn't get out to do anything cool, that I would have some videos in the bank. But now I have no videos, and I'm just putting up videos as I want to put them up. I'm not just putting videos up because I need to get a Sunday video out anymore. The maple syrup is something I did, so that's coming up. I don't really have anything too much in the works. If I can get out trapping this week and get a few rats, I might put up a quick video on my muskrat floats and that sort of thing. But I'm not pushing to make videos anymore. I think they need to just come more natural and record things. And if it's a good video, then put up a video. So anyways, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for the 1,000 subs. And we'll see you later. I'll try and come back on maybe later in the week or next week and do another live stream. So cheers, and I'm going to finish my coffee. We'll see you.